Guys, welcome. I'll just wait for like 2 more minutes just for others to join, and then we can kickstart the session. Thank you. Guys, can you see my screen? So I shared the link in the chat for this Google Colab notebook. If you can click on that link and make a copy before we start. So I'm gonna walk you through what we are going to be doing. Okay, first of all, hi, I'm Sarah. Nice meeting you. I have been doing SEO for 10 years, and I'm based in Ontario, Canada. Okay, so I shared the link for a Google Colab notebook in the chat. Let me walk you through what we're gonna do today. So first of all, I want you to make a copy of this notebook, and then you'll see a link here. If you click on this link, these are a list of projects. I want you to like go through the list and select one that you'd like to work on today and write your name next to it, so we don't like every one of us is working on one different project instead of like we accidentally working on the same projects. And once you decide, okay, let's say you say, okay, I want to create a month over month and a year over year performance report. So each of these is a report, okay? Let me know what data you'd like. I'll export it to you from my Search Console from my website and share it with you here. And once we have this ready, I'll walk you through the next steps. I don't want to just like dump everything right now. And let's start by making a copy of the Colab notebook that I shared the link for in the chat, and then choose the project. Once we do this, I'll take you through the next steps. Okay, so each of us has picked a project. These are like high-level steps, right? So what we want to do right now, I need you to tell me what data you need. You can use ChatGPT, like you can paste your project in ChatGPT and ask what data export do you need from Search Console. If you need help with deciding what data you need, let me know and I'll just share it with you right now in the chat. Okay, now let's go to ChatGPT and you have your project. I'll show you what I'm gonna do with mine. Okay, before we go there, you have this sheet. What does this sheet does? This code simply does is just show you as file selector. There's nothing else in there, right? So you can select your file and start working. So we want to take this small code and our description, project description, and the data we have, and tell ChatGPT to tailor code for that. Okay, so I pasted the code that was in here, right? And then I'm gonna paste the project. I want to use first what data I have. I have queries, clicks, impressions. Okay. I want to use this code with Search Console sports contains keywords, clicks, impressions, are anchors last months to create a this project in Python. I'm just winging it, okay? I need to download first the data that I'm gonna be using. So I'm gonna download this as, 1 second. Yeah, I'm gonna download it as CSV. Okay, go back here. You can see my screen, right? Inspect, filter, track. Okay, let's see what this does. You can start doing the same if you want. So here, I'm basically gonna be working, like you can just see what I'm doing directly in here. So basically gonna try the code ChatGPT shared with us and test it a few times to make sure this is the output we want and fine tune it, right? Whatever we're working on. Let's run this. Choose files, so I'm choosing this. Something went wrong. Okay, the file is file name is not correct. I need to change that. Okay, call it Sarah here. 1 second, I'll just rename it. I'll rename the file to sarah.csv. You're wondering what I'm doing, just renaming. Are you lost, guys, or like, do you have an idea what we're doing?
Yes, somehow we lost.
Lost. Okay. Okay. Let me start.
I think
So-
if we have one project and test it as you did, not everyone do its own
Different
project.
one.
One project and all of us work at it.
Okay. I mean, we have 1 hour only, but let's try this. Okay. So I'm gonna share my prompt here, so you get the same. Let's do that. Okay. So if you see there's what's the problem in this code is the column names is not the same as the one in the sheet. Clicks, impressions, it's called top queries here. So we want to go back and see where is query and change that. I think this is, we don't have a date column. Query. And then here you need to replace with the actual keyword. Let's say Sarah. Spot now analysis.
Yes.
Okay, so if you see what I'm doing here, I have added some keywords because these are ones I want to track, right? And I made sure we have top queries instead of just queries. I don't know what date is doing here. Let's try and run the code first and see what happens. I'm gonna choose again. What's wrong? What's wrong? Okay, go back to ChatGPT. Okay, let's try to print the file name first. Let's try this. Okay. Load. Not sure why it's this complex, but let me see. Okay, so loaded. Sarah, what's wrong? Why? So Sarah. Sarah, that's yes. Weird. Okay, now it's called something else. Okay, okay. When I ran it a few times, it. Let's try again. Okay. Sonia and Osama, how is it going? Oh, now I have a different error.
To do it myself.
Excuse me?
I'm trying to do it myself.
Okay, good. Sonia?
Yeah, same for me.
And 1 second. Okay, I think we need to export different data. It should have some timestamp. So let me try and do this again. Okay, I'll make this for the last 3 months. So we just don't have too much data. August, September. Yeah, August, okay, it's okay. Query date. Let's see this. Let's try this one instead. Okay, now we have a different, okay, new data. Can you see this new tab here? If
Yeah,
at any point you don't see my screen, let me know. Load CSV. I'm just gonna rename it. Okay, now I'm going here. Call it new data. Make sure the file name, whatever you give it, is the same as the one you have here. Let's start again. Okay. Okay, it's what's going on? Another error. Top queries. Sorry. It's called query now. So we're gonna reverse this back to query. Let's try again. Okay, there is an error because this should be query capital because it's case sensitive. Data. Let me just adjust this first. Make sure everything is great. Let's take error. Okay. Here's something that's happening. Obviously, we're running the code several times, and every time we're uploading the file, so it's gonna start giving it a different name. So make sure you delete it because it's gonna give an error. What else? Date. Okay. Doesn't have it. Okay. Something to know. The column names are case sensitive. So because the code says date in small, in non-capitalized, it doesn't see the date column, right? So we need to make sure that it's case sensitive. So we just want to make sure that all the column names are the same exactly as, what are we looking for? Position. It's called position capital. Position capital here. Date position. Okay, let's delete this. Every time we run it, we need to delete it. Again, new data. What else? Position. Here is one mention of position that is not here. I did not. There's this one, yes. Okay, so we're gonna delete this again. Okay.
Great.
Something came out, right? Like there is an output. Now we can debug this and see, is this what we want or not? Okay, I'll share this. 1 second. You have access to this document, guys, so you can actually copy the code directly if you want. This is the one, the first document I shared in the notebook that I shared in the chat. Okay, let's see what do we have here. Okay, so Sarah, Tahir, that's the ranking over time. Okay, date and position over time. SWOT analysis over time. Python for beginners. Interesting. Okay, what do we want? Let me look at this data here. I'm gonna pick some keywords here and where is that? Data SEO. Okay, let's try data SEO. Let's try. Okay, now delete this. Every time we run the code, we have to delete this and upload again. Are you anywhere like where we're doing, like, where are you guys?
I'm following what you're doing because I feel like I learn more this way than trying to do the same thing at the same time.
Okay,
I
so
don't know about the others, but for me, it's okay to look at you. It's teaching me how to do it.
cool. So here, guys, you see, like, this is the, obviously we need to adjust this. Like, this is the date and it doesn't look good. So we need to clean this. So we're gonna go back to ChatGPT and talk to it about this. However, this is where like this is the ranking or the position over time for the keyword. We also need to put the keyword somewhere. Yeah, data keyword here. So let's talk to ChatGPT about the date format. Just the date format and chart. Okay, we need to decide how we want the date to look like. We don't want the year, and we want the month name. Right? Or let's try this. Okay. So month name format is August 8. Okay, so it's given good information. So let's see if we have these already or not. If we need to import these. No, we don't. So let's import them. I like to have all the imports in the beginning. Let's put this here as well. Okay, and then figure size. Let's go to where we are setting the figure size. Here, we have these here. Okay, so let's not. Okay, let's not mess the code for now. We have them, okay. Figure size, we have the figure size. Date position, label equal keyword. We have that here. All this we have. Okay, here's where we need to customize. Something is different here. Let's see. Log GCA, convert by access, and then grid true. Okay, so these two lines are new. Let's try this. Let's try adding these here and see what happens. Okay, delete this. Okay, here we go. Can you see what happened here?
I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm super happy. And we can also add, okay, let's ask, okay, I want to download that part. Well, so now we can add another command. Over time, you'll memorize these, but like you don't need to memorize them. And what it's just gonna keep blabbering. That's not what we're looking for. Yes, here. Okay, that it's just one line, but it has to like. Okay, delete this. We lost Muhammad.
Mm.
Is this so boring, guys? Tell me.
No, actually, it's interesting.
Yeah, it's really interesting. No, it's not boring at all.
Okay, so now we're gonna see that chart here. It's gonna populate here. Yes, see, now you can download it and use it anywhere you want, right? And we can add as many keywords as we want here. Where is it? Where did I? Yes, here, comma. You can just add a comma. So that's basically actually what I'm trying to teach with Python, like understanding how the code works. What are you trying to edit? What each line does. You don't need to understand like the nitty-gritty details, but understand, okay, this will just show the first few rows of the data or whatever, what to edit, how to get your code up and running with the help of ChatGPT. I'll wait till you do this, guys, and then we can go back and like pick projects.
Yeah.
And again, you have access to this code if you just want to copy it and paste it and try running it. Just make sure you do, like, if you have anything here, delete it. And
Anyway, so
okay, so while you're working, I'm gonna be like rambling a bit. I like to have all the imports here at the top. I don't like to have them like distributed like this. So that's what I'm gonna do right now. I'm gonna move all of this to the top. Um, oh, here. Okay. One thing also, generally speaking, to communicate to ChatGPT, if you wanted to comment your code, is that you want the comments in grade 12 reading level. So that means they're not going to be too complicated, but they're not going to be too easy, like for a 5-year-old, right? Just a note. You can also try Gemini, not necessarily now. Like, let me try and paste this in Gemini and see what's gonna say. Make this code better. Make this code better. Let's see if it can make any change to this. Track culture. Okay, let's try this code. So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna add a different. I'm gonna run it again. Let's delete this. Okay. Let's see what happens. It's just the same, but just more efficient or like a better way with some better commenting. So nothing new so far. Okay. More concise. Okay, here's one thing. 1 second. Let's compare this. So let's see what happens. This is the same. So it actually removed one import. You know what? That's actually a good thing. Why? Because importing something is like loading a file that you're not going to use. So that's good that it removed one thing. I'm actually happy. You may feel it's not that important, but if you're dealing with like a huge data set, it's like you want to make your code as fast as possible, and importing things you're not going to be using is not very efficient. This is like, when in Core Web Vitals, when you're telling the developers to remove unused JavaScript and CSS, it's just heavy dead weight that you're carrying and you're not using it. So I like that it removed something that wasn't used.
So Sarah, I'm working on link building basically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
if we extract anchor text from Search Consoles and other things, so we can make a report like this, right?
Yes, of course. So the first thing you need to do is just write the steps exactly, right? And give it to ChatGPT. If you can say, okay, I'm gonna export or like get all the data, and then next, what do you want it to exactly do, right? And you can actually help it to brainstorm the steps with you. So once you have just a clear understanding of what do you want the code to do, you can do the exact same thing here with ChatGPT, the exact same process we're doing now, right?
Okay.
So, for example, okay, let's suggest Python projects related to LinkedIn. Just okay, so now it also tells you where to get your data. So for example, you may want to download something from Ahrefs, right? And then you use Python to categorize links by whatever, like you can have the graphs you're looking for, do your analysis. Again, it's just the same steps. Like what we exactly did, you go to ChatGPT, give it the prompt. You don't have even to copy and paste that exact prompt. It's just, hey, I have this, these steps, and I have this data. Help me write a Python code. And you start troubleshooting it and seeing, is this the output you want? And my recommendation is the first time you're trying the code, try it with something the result, like know how the result should look like to make sure it's running correctly, right? And just keep troubleshooting like the same way I did, right? Over time you'll learn where to add it. Okay, guys, we have like 15 minutes left. Do you want to try another project?
The keyword cannibalization could be interesting, I think, but I
Yeah,
don't know if
okay.
it's going to be too long.
No, I don't think. Let's
Okay.
first of all, we have the data, right? We called it Usema, so okay, let's just make this Usema. Okay, download this data. make sure it's given the right name. Okay, let's do the same exercise. So you have your steps, right? Okay, let's first copy what. Okay. I want to create a Python project. And then I need to describe the data I have. I have a CSV file. What's the data in there? Page query. Includes following. Okay, let's see. I think one thing we want to make sure is this is very vague. You may want to tell ChatGPT what is the output you want exactly. So is it the out is that you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so you may want to say, okay, I want a list of URLs and that are like that, or the keywords that are like you need to describe what you want, right? Because it's a bit vague, but let's see what happens here. I'm gonna share this code with you guys here in the chat. So if you wanna, I'm gonna also add it in the same document here anyway, so you can just put this here. Let's file path. Okay, this is probably not gonna ask us for, it cannot find the file. Okay, so this is, we're gonna need to upload it ourselves like this. Okay, let's try again. Same. Again, another error. What's going on? String to numeric. There's something. So this has to do with the CTR. 1 second, I have the column names correctly.
Okay.
Page. I did give ChatGPT the column name, so it should be correct. Page query clicks. That's okay. We had a right here. Okay, so an easier way we could have just where's the CTR? Yeah, we could have just format here number as percent. Probably, but let's see what. So it's gonna do that for us. It's gonna clean it up and convert it to a number because it's dealing with it as text, even though it's a number. Okay, let's try this now here. Let's try. 1 second, I made this mistake. What is this? What's going on? 1 second. Okay, for a few keywords. Okay, so clicks for cannibalizing pages for query SEO.
Oh.
The homepage and this. Obviously, we need to work on the presentation. Okay, I don't like this. Obviously, this is not a good presentation, but for example, about SEO, 2 pages, AI, SEO case study, these 2 pages. Okay. Now we need to describe a better format, and because it's going on and on, obviously on Canva SEO case study, it's listing all the potential cannibalizations here. Okay, so yeah, we need to stop this and define what is cannibalization for us. So you have this code here, right? what we need to do is to explain to ChatGPT what the output is, what is the definition of correct for us. Let me think about this. Want the output. This code. Maybe let's describe the output first. A list of URLs or rising each other. So output should look like keyword URL 1 or URL 2. Here's the code. Let's see. I'm gonna remove this. We don't want to plot this. Recording. Okay, this is gonna save this as a file. Okay, that's good. Let's remove the visualization step here. Let's see what happens now. Okay, so we have an output here. Page, clicks, impressions. I mean, it still needs some work, but can you see?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Okay, things we can do is we need to have a better definition of what is cannibalization. So we can tell ChatGPT something like if if one keyword is getting more than 1,000 impressions for 2 different URLs, for example, like you need to define it as well. Like I'm just suggesting off the top of my head, or if a keyword is ranking with 2 different pages on the second page, like have 2 pages ranking on the second page for the same keyword, for example. Like we need to have a definition of what is cannibalization for us and pass it on to ChatGPT so it can actually run the code, build the code for us, and then we can test it. Another thing we can do is, okay, I want to input the keyword I'm looking for if it's causing, maybe I have a list of specific keywords I want to check. So that's also something we can tell ChatGPT to take into account. So in that situation, we're going to have 2 CSV files, the export from Search Console and the one we're going to import, the keyword list we want to input, or if you just want to type it, if it's one keyword. Like these sort of things. What are your thoughts so far about what we have been doing? I hope it's not a total mess.
No, not at all. I think using ChatGPT is really
It's
helping speeding
chill.
up the process to learn, because you can actually do it and then it can point out what's not working. And I think for me, it's a more efficient way to learn.
So that's what I want you to learn from this session is you don't need to understand every single line of code. You need to understand how to troubleshoot that, how to test that, how to think about it, right? Like you need to explain to, like this is vague, right? You may want to add, for example, okay, I'll add this here so you have an idea. Explain what is cannibalization for you, right? Because for me, for example, maybe I would say if a keyword has 1,000 impressions for 2 URLs, then this is cannibalization. Maybe Sonia would say, no, 500 impressions. We will have different opinions on this. So explain to ChatGPT what is cannibalization for you. Also, explain the output format. Are you looking for a graph? Are you looking for a list? What is the output you want? So these are some decisions you need to make when you're building your code, right? The more precise and the more you know what you want, the easier it is for ChatGPT. If you don't know, you may brainstorm with ChatGPT. How, like before writing the code, you may go and say, okay, how to measure cannibalization, suggest ideas, like something like that. Not necessarily the exact same format, of course, right? And think about it, like, okay, what is it? Tons of stuff here, and use Gemini as well. I also recommend using Perplexity, like use different LLMs. Meta.ai, I like it as well, by the way. Yeah, right? Get an idea and think about what you actually want, right? That's, you may think the actual code is the challenge. The challenge is the logic. That's where what's gonna actually make one code different than the other is the logic behind it. Okay?